Hey everyone, happy Tantra Tuesday. I'm here on my own today. Leroy will be back next week once we have our new Zoom webinar all sorted out. And today I'm missing India a little bit, so I'm wearing my salwar kameez for this broadcast. As I was thinking about what I was going to chat about today, I hopped online. And it seemed that I was directed to everything that's painful in the world of Tantra right now. And so, to be honest, I'm feeling a little bit raw today. I feel like I'm moving through the stages of grief in a way, in sadness and on my way to acceptance. And with all of that, I got thinking about the role of the guru in Tantra. And so that's what I'm going to be sharing today. And classically, and before I start, I do have a disclaimer. This is going to be a little bit controversial, and I will chat a little bit towards the end about the fruits of having a guru. But for now, I'm going to share a little bit of the history and then my own perspective and theories on this. So historically, having a Tantra guru was required. It's very clear, very simple. To practice Tantra, you had to have a guru. And if you didn't have a guru, you were not practicing Tantra. And this was kind of, Tantra was in its peak around 1500 years ago. And at this time, most gurus taught from one text. And so you as a tantric practitioner had one guru and one text for your lifetime. Now compare that to today, where we all have access to the internet and we have textbooks lining our shelves in different lineages and different practices and teachers, and it's like this smorgasbord of information. Well, back then it was one, typically. And that guru was a lifetime relationship, and there was full devotion to your guru. You did everything that they said. You didn't question anything. You pushed beyond your perceived limits, and sometimes they made you do crazy things to bring you to that next stage of your journey. And today, if you follow social media and even the news, there seems to be a bit of an epidemic of the fallen guru. And as I reflect on all of this theory bubbles to the surface for me. And I feel like in our evolution, in our expansion, we were kind of like tantric toddlers back then. And we looked to a responsible adult who had our best interests in mind. And we looked to them for our guidance, and they were really the holders of our spiritual journey. And so whatever they said went. And, me as a practitioner back then, I didn't have to make the tough decisions. I didn't need to have the lucidity to know what is my truth in this moment, what's going to take me forward in the direction I want to go. I could surrender all of that. And this is an amazingly beautiful relationship to have, a very precious, precious relationship to have. And as we start to expand and grow, and we're reaching our next level of sort of expansion and even awakening in our society today, hey Leroy, we're starting to come into our own, our tantric own, and we're starting to take the training wheels off of our bikes. And this means that we're being challenged with the task of being our own gurus in a lot of ways, of really coming into alignment with our own truth and using the wisdom of the teachers and using the divinity that we see reflected in the eyes of everyone that we meet as our teacher. And so today feels like our next level of challenge in being our own guru, and finding our own sovereignty. And if you've ever been in a workshop with me before, you know that the first thing I say is, don't believe anything that I say. And that's because I am not a guru-style teacher. I'm just someone who's been walking on a path that hopefully can be valuable to you. But I actually ask people in my workshop to agree to be sovereign, to check in with their own yeses and nos, and be the one making the executive decision at the end of the day. Is this a go for me or not? Now, I am going to say, here's the caveat, having a guru can be an amazing way to accelerate your spiritual growth. And so if you do have a guru, then amazing. I'm really happy for you, and that's good karma that you have a guru, perhaps. What I will say is, if you're looking for a guru, then it's not something to be taken lightly, especially today, as this relationship is crumbling so many different places across the globe. It really, really serves us to look at this and say, is it the right way forward for me to give my power away to someone? And if it is, which it may be, then be very, very clear that it's the right person. And in my experience, attending a weekend workshop with someone is not enough information to choose a guru. You need to see how that person is behind closed doors, or after they're out of the spotlight, when no one's watching. How is this person? How are their other devotees? And start to study them and get a real appreciation and build that trust slowly, because it's a lifelong relationship. And this is general. You might have an experience of just knowing someone's your guru. But I think my path and what I offer to people is really finding that inside, finding that sovereignty inside, and getting really clear on your own yeses and your own nos, because that is what allows you to continue going to different workshops and continue working with different teachers, even if they're not a guru. And because the fact is, most people on this planet aren't enlightened. And that is really a core quality that you want in your guru. So, if you're attending all these workshops with people who aren't enlightened, which is most of us, then they're not guru material. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to be your inner guru. And the first step towards that is just what you want to align yourself with. And that might be something like love or truth, or it might be something like God, or Shiva, or Buddha. And in the Tantric tradition, it is often Shiva, because Shiva is the ultimate consciousness, that isness that permeates and pervades everything, that everything springs up out of. And so if you feel a resonance with this path, and that might be your inner alignment. And when you have that, you can actually consecrate your practice or your life to that. And it acts like a North Star, a guiding principle. If you're at a crossroads in life and you don't know which way to turn, you can ask yourself, well, what would love do right now? What would be most in accordance with love, or truth, or consciousness? And once you've got your alignment, once you've got your inner alignment, then you can come into your body. And Osho says that Tantra is the only religion that worships the wisdom of the body. And in Tantra, the body is the most fully expressed version of the sacred, of the divine. It's the place where the divine is fully manifested. All of its facets are open. It exists the most totally in our body form. It's where the divine sings and dances and laughs and experiences itself. And our body has immense wisdom. And in my Tantra 101 class, you'll learn how to find your body signals so you can use those to help you navigate. And each one of us has our own unique navigation system And you'll know once you practice this when your body's a yes to something or it's a no to something. And one of the questions I often get is, well, how do I know if I'm not just resisting? Because you might feel when there's an opportunity to expand or grow, you feel this no of some kind in your body. And when you dig deep into this and you really start to know your body on a deep level, you'll find that there's a subtle language, and that the no of resistance is actually different than the no, this is not my truth. And for example, the no of resistance might be like a tightening in your stomach, like a butterfly feeling. And the no, this is not in my truth, might be kind of a sinking, like a gut rot kind of feeling. That's kind of how it feels for me. And each one of us have our own different navigation systems. So being your inner guru and being your own guru and connecting with your inner guru is a lot about learning your own owner's manual and finding all of your own signals. Another big part of it is embracing and familiarizing yourself with the dualities of pleasure and pain. So finding your own pleasure, the very, very core of it, is something that Leroy and I chatted about the last couple of weeks here. And it's a process of finding that superficial pleasure of maybe hooking up with someone, having a delicious meal, maybe having an alcoholic drink, and then playing the 4-year-old game with yourself, asking yourself, why do I want this? What is the pleasure that I get out of this? And drilling down deeper and deeper and deeper until you get to your core pleasure, what really, really satisfies your soul. And meditation is a really good way to do this, to help you experience pleasure in the most core way. And if there's something that you're wanting or craving right now, you can play the 4-year-old game and ask, well, what is it that I truly want about that? What will I get out of that? And see how far you can go into your core pleasure, and then follow that, align your life with that. Hey, Jennifer and Travis, thank you for being here. Good to see you both. So what else can we do to find the inner guru? Well, it's not just about following our pleasures. We also need to follow our pain and go deeply into our pain and our shadows. And why is this important? It's not a very savory activity on the surface. But the thing is, if you are not clear and have not yet trudged through the valley of your shadows, then your shadows in some way are still controlling you. And there's subconscious ways that you're showing up that you're not consciously aware of. And why is that important? Well, one reason is that it makes you very easily manipulated. So when we haven't gone through our fears and faced them and found the gold in them and seen what are the shadows, what are the parts of myself that I've tried to repress and deny, that I try so hard not to be in real life. Because the part that I'm trying so hard not to be is the part in a moment of pressure that I'm going to be. And so shadow work and deep forgiveness of self and others will help you to bring all of these parts of yourself, all the pains and shadows, into the light, into the conscious mind. And when they're there, instead of running the show from behind, you're much less easily manipulated. You'll be very clear on why you're doing things, your motivations for doing things. And meditation is an invaluable container for all of this work. Meditation is what brings that subtle awareness. It's what brings that grounding so that I've got the strength that I can face those shadows and integrate them and even find the gold in them. And that's actually mostly what's on my mind right now. And we have Michael. Hey, you're joining just for the end. Unless anyone has a question, anything that this brought to mind for you, I'd love to hear what you're thinking. And otherwise, I will just encourage you all to find that inner guru and start really paying attention to your body. You know, as you're going through the day, you can just check in and say, well, how are my legs feeling right now? What's going on inside my legs? And it sounds like such a simple practice and silly, but where your attention goes, your energy flows. And so this is a really easy way to bring yourself more into the body, into this place where all of the divinity can be truly experienced. And even a practice of self-touch. Every morning before you get out of bed, you can just give yourself a little bit of touch on your arms, check in with your neck, and just say hello to your whole body. Because if we don't have that kind of relationship with our body, we're cutting ourselves off from this huge source of our inner guru. Leroy. Yes, the shadow. Let's have a shadow talk one day. That would be great. It's also one of my favorite topics and so intertwined with Tantra. So important because Tantra is the uniting of all of our polarities. So we're not just pursuing our pleasure, but we're also coming face to face with our pain. And we're not just enhancing our gifts, but we're also looking at what are our shadows, what are our struggles in life. All right. Thanks for being here, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at 6:30 Mountain Time. All right. Have a beautiful night. Namaste.